So that's that little part after soaking in OSFO overnight. It has a black tar inside there now. Maybe it evaporated and left some goo, but yeah, I scraped that out of there. See what we got. I scraped that black goo out of there with a screwdriver and gave it a little solvent bath. I'm going to give it a quick hit with this thing. It's still got some black stuff down in there. I don't know if you can really see it. A little bit of rust down on the bottom of that. So I think what I'm going to do, even though it looks pretty good, I think I'm going to go ahead and just give it another little soak in some OSFO just to get that last little bit of rust out of there. So here's what that part looks like after soaking in OSFO for a couple days. It stinks. It smells like a fart. There's still a little bit of rust down at the bottom of that thing, but I'll probably clean up nice now. About to find out. So after more wire wheel and scraping, there's still some rust down the bottom of this thing. A little bit, but I don't know. It's had 2 baths of OSFO, 2 scrapes, it's just not coming all the way clean. Rust is cancer, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking about just painting it, calling it good. I got my mirror back from being re-silvered, and it's time to secure it in there. So what I've got is some cork tape back in there all around the outside edge of this mirror, and that is to make up the thickness. That is what is in the book, and that makes it stand just a little bit proud, so it should squish nicely between the trim ring that receives it. I am going to be applying this stuff. This is windshield adhesive. This is really tough stuff. I've never used it. Got a tube. So we'll see how that goes. That windshield adhesive is going to go in the crack around the outside edge here to fill that void. I'll let that set up, and then I'll put the trim ring on. I don't want to end up gluing the trim ring onto the thing with the windshield adhesive. So we'll see how this goes here. Let me get my first look at what this stuff is like. Seems a lot like caulk. It's 3M, so it should be good stuff. It's coming out way too slow. I gotta make a bigger cut in this thing. I do not want to get it anywhere that I do not want this stuff, because it is extra adhesive. It's thick. It's not coming out very good. Ah, crap. I got a different caulk gun now. Let's see if this works any better. And it does. Takes a lot of pressure though. This seems like a job where you might want to have one of those fancy, you know, power caulking guns. I gotta squeeze it so hard. My hand is shaking doing this. And I'm not properly filling it here. Let's see if I can get it off of there. If you find yourself doing this, I suggest you buy a really good caulking gun. Is this crap I have around here is not cutting it. I've got some better ones, but they're for the bigger tubes. Won't take these. I'm going to time lapse the rest of this video. So I think I prefer to have this kind of in here at an angle, because the mirror sits a little proud. The whole thing's going to squish down in there with the trim ring. I think having this stuff kind of at a bevel would be best. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm pretty sure anything that gets on the glass I can just get off with a razor blade. But maybe not. Shit, I gouged it there. Ooh. There's a little chip there, and it's collecting that black stuff. The mirror is kind of boogered up around the edge. I mean, it is over 50 years old, so. I gotta keep my finger off it because my finger's got stuff on it. I guess I can just change gloves, but. Since this stuff sticks to glass, I just thought it might be safest to get this off the mirror. while it's still wet. Okay, I think that's it for tonight. I'm gonna let this stuff set up, and then tomorrow I'll put the trim ring on it and clean it up and install it on the bus. So it's the next morning, and this is cured. It looks pretty good. It's kind of rubbery, it's still pliable. It's got a little squish to it, which is good. And it has some give. You want the whole thing to be able to come down in there flush. Maybe you can see it moving there. See that movement? So that's what I want. It's going to take a lot of pressure to get that to go down in there. But hopefully this works out. So this is how this stack goes up in there. I got some grease on it. So I got it perched on top of the ball there, and it's going to go up into that hole and get screwed on. 4 screws. Okay, I got the bottom part in. Now it's time to mount the adjustment screw, which I got a stainless version here because it's dissimilar metal, but housing is aluminum. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a liberal coating of anti-seize to that and screw it down in there. Now look at this. Firm but not too loose. It moves. It's greased. It's good, really good. I'm going to go ahead and seal up these 2 holes here. So I bought this rubber plug, flexible rubber plug. I just dropped it. It fits nicely in this thread. So I'm going to go ahead and trim the length of it a little bit and rotate it down in that hole. Final product. Zip tied the wires up in there for the heated mirror. Got the rubber grommet twisted down in there. And I got a little blob of Dicor over that hole and in that hole. A little messy, but it's up on top. Nobody will see it. That stuff removes pretty easily, so I'm not real concerned about it.